from France and Motor from Germany. They're all sort of pretty independent companies that we ended up sort of attaching ourselves to in a weird way.
When we first started thinking about the first album, we had a whole load of songs that were done obviously in the past before we got signed. But the rest of the songs, they were like a few were done in the studio, like Unintended and Sunburn. They sort of happened in the studio at that time.
I wasn't really too worried about what people would think about it. I more just wanted to make something that I knew that I'd like myself, or something I knew that I'd want to listen to. And so I was just putting all my effort into putting something down that I'd want to like, you know, I'd get into. Because then at least I'd know that if it ever did get liked by a large amount of people, it's something that is in me or something from me. And so I always wanted to make the music as personal as possible, and I was always putting as much personal input into it and getting trying to put a lot of emotion into it and all that.
One of the main things we wanted to do with the second album was try and make it sound a bit more like we do on stage, you know. And seeing as, you know, we were doing so much of that after the first album was released, it's obviously a good time to go in and try and do it. Because people always came to the gigs and say, oh, what you do live on stage is so much better than the album. It's much more full on and more exciting and stuff. So I think we were on the second album trying to get a bit more of that. And I think we're still working on that now. I think on the third album we're just trying to capture what we do when we're on stage, trying to get that in the studio. I think I'm not sure if it's because we're a bit nervous or something. I think we were very nervous at first in the studio, and that's probably why it came out a bit soft sounding compared to what it was when we were on stage, when we were a bit more relaxed.
I think most of the first sort of year and a half we spent supporting bands. We did a tour with Skunk Anansie and tour with Feeder in the UK, and then did the Chili Peppers in the States. That was really good, because I think that was the first time we'd gone out and done like arenas.
Doing a tour with like Chili Peppers and Foo Fighters was a big turning point in our approach to what we do on stage and how we thought about playing live generally. We sort of had it in us from when we first started out. When we first started out, we were playing with our mates, like when we were 16, it was like really cool, and as everyone getting into it. Then we went through a big sort of period of like about 18, 19, 20, and no one really came to our gigs, and we all became very introverted, you know. I think we became very introverted on stage and very sort of shy and everything. And then when we went out on the Chili Peppers, we were playing like these big arenas, like maybe 15,000, 20,000, some of them 25,000 capacity venues. And the crowd were just like, mental, you know. They were just rock, and like, the more riffs we played, the more heavy we played, the more they got into it.
I love you, man. You're beautiful. This is the coolest. I love you. You guys were fucking rocking tonight. You were like, you were like jumping like a motherfucker, and then you like flew. I got like $5 left because I bought your CD, see? I am an official Muse fan now. You're one of my favorite bands now, because I never heard of you. And then I saw you, I was like having orgasms. I was like, the fucking, oh my God, you guys are amazing. That's the way.
It's like every gig, you know, just playing was good enough, and then coming off stage and watching the Foo Fighters and Chili Peppers as well every night, it was just absolutely incredible.
And it was the first time in my life that I was playing on a big stage with a lot of space to run around, and because up until then it had all been really cramped playing these little pubs and stuff, and then suddenly we were out on this massive open space with a massive expanse of people everywhere.
There's only 3 of us, and you sort of have to move around more, and you have to fill the space a little bit more, and then watching the way the Chili Peppers were on stage, they just seem to enjoy it so much, and I think that was like a big influence on the way, you know, the live show is now, I think.
I think it changed our confidence on stage, at least. I think we just became a bit more who gives a fuck? I mean, let's just go for it. Let's just go for it. Let's just give everything we've got whilst we're here, you know. So I think you get a sense. I sort of managed to get a sensation of the short period of time that our life lasts for, and like playing in front of like 20,000 people, you sort of think, you know, what am I going to do? Am I going to sit up here and whinge about it? Am I going to just fucking like go for it and go mental and like give everything to it? And that's like, I just thought, yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
we've always like tried to have a laugh on the road and have some fun and party as much as we can. We generally we do the gigs, which are always pretty energetic, and full on, and the crowd always seem to get into it and love it. And then afterwards we like to try and meet people and have parties and mess about and get loads of people in our dressing room and turn the stereo up full and turn the lights off and see what happens.
When I sort of have a bit of a party or a bit of a gathering with people who are in the gig or whatever, it helps you sort of understand who you're playing for, and it doesn't make you think you're too separated from them, whatever like that. When we do when we're touring around different countries, there's like groups of people who sort of follow us around and come to all the gigs, and sometimes they have a big party, sometimes we don't, sometimes we just have a gathering on the bus or whatever. There's like groups of people who sort of hang around. It's like this sort of weird gypsy-ish sort of existence that we have, and we're sort of just having these parties in random locations, and I think it's all right. I like it a lot.
Muse.
Do you like Muse?
Вау, супер! Группа просто улет, мне очень нравится. Пускай они еще к нам приезжают обязательно.
We went to Moscow for the first time this year, and that was amazing because we'd never been there before.
It's really weird, like as soon as we jumped off the plane, there was like TV cameras and, people shooting us and stuff. So that was just pretty strange, and doing interviews as soon as we walked out of the airport.
We can't come in there. There's just people everywhere we went. We'd go to a hotel, there'd be 20 people there hanging out, just going, chasing you around. And then the weirdest bit was we went sightseeing in Red Square. And we just went there just to look at the Kremlin, and I got my photograph taken with a big blade under my neck. And we suddenly got mobbed by all these people.
Out of nowhere, loads of people started running around us and taking pictures, and we were signing autographs and stuff. It's pretty weird, It's always weird when that happens when you go to a country where you've never been before,
I'm not sure how they knew we were there or whatever. I don't know. There was some sort of weird thing was going on. Everywhere we went, people seemed to know where we were. But the gig itself was unbelievable. We're playing in the gymnastics room, and it was this sort of big, weird shaped room, and it was really cool. It was like a big arena, and everyone was they sort of went mental.
Moscow was strange because it's the complete opposite to what we expected it to be, I don't know what we expected. We expected a few people at the gig and chucking bottles at us or something, going fuck off, bottles off stage. But it's the complete opposite, and there was loads of people there, and they all loved it. But because I think there's not a lot of bands go out there and play, so when a band does go out, they get very excited about it.
And it was a big surprise. I would like to go back and do a tour. So it's really enthusiastic about it all.
We will miss you.
Yeah, I'll miss you.
All of you. Yeah. You're great guys, and we love you so much.
I made a decision to say a three-piece after the first album. Because on the first album I started doing a little bit of piano, but I did a little bit of piano on a song like Sunburn, a little bit on Cave. They're songs on the first album that had little bits, but I never really did it live, and the reason I didn't live is because I couldn't play the piano and sing at the same time. Because I was struggling with it, and because I couldn't play them live, I think it sort of made me think, I really want to be able to do it live without having to get another person in, because I think that'd be a bit of a. We did like TFI Friday, and it was like fucking shite. We we got like some geezer in who was like fucked it all up. He was playing a piano part and he completely fucked it up, and your ginger man called us Sunburn, playing a song called Muse, and it was all just a bit of a shambles. I realised I didn't ever want to be well, I don't want to say ever, but I mean I didn't want to be a 4-piece, you know, I wanted to be a 3-piece, and I wanted to learn the piano myself.